So I have been live streaming AFL Evolution, and I've been getting asked the same question every single night. Is the game worth it? Is AFL Evolution worth it? And I'm here to run that down for you guys. I've put together a bit of a list of pros and cons of the game so you can add them all up and see if it is actually worth it. I'll be running through some of the things in-game and out of the game that make up the whole experience of AFL Evolution. And I believe we should just get straight into it here. So we'll start off with the cons. We'll start off with the part, which will make you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't buy this game. But then you will hear the pros as well. Starting off with the cons. This isn't so much a con of the game, but a con of you guys. The whole AFL community, the sports gaming community, whatever you want to call it. People comparing the game to 2K or FIFA and saying that it is nowhere near as good as those titles. And no, it's not graphically, and I believe it is gameplay wise at least. That just might be me though. But 2K and FIFA, you gotta understand, they have so much more money to make their games, whereas AFL Evolution are a small Australian company. Wicked Witch are a small Australian company with not that much of a budget to make a game, so I think that they did very well. Maybe they have more of a budget than we're making it out to be, since the game ended up looking pretty darn fine. But yeah, I just don't compare it to 2K or FIFA pretty much, is what I'm trying to say, because you won't get a good comparison there. So next up is the commentators Dennis Cometti and Matthew Richardson repeatedly calling marks catches. They saying, for example, McRae catches the ball. What a great catch. 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 And we're even seeing it in real life now. I hate it. I hate marks being called catches, and that really got me like, ugh, about the game, because all of it should just be called marks, okay? Next con is there are way too many speckies in game. You get like 2, 3, maybe even 4 a quarter, and it is just really unrealistic compared to the rest of the game, which is really realistic. But there are just way too many speckies in the game, which it's really annoying. Next is something that's realistic, but it might be too realistic. Marking system. I've seen a lot of people complain about them, and I have been complaining about them about the system myself. I've kind of gotten a bit used to it now, but it is still annoying, the marking sometimes, how it just doesn't work, or you know, you could get it perfect, but I don't know, positioning's just too important. Everything is just a bit hard, but it is realistic. Someone pointed out to me that it is realistic because like real life, you're not going to be able to take a mark, just simply a contested mark. Next one is the amount of horrible misses the opposition kicks. They will miss it from 10 meters out, they'll miss it from the goal square, they'll miss it from anywhere that they can possibly miss it from, and then sometimes they'll pull out crazy goals and they'll end up with a score of about 3 goals 7, 3 goals 9. Yeah, it's just too unrealistic, that as well, the amount of behinds that the opposition kicks on any difficulty. This is as well, and I can confirm that. And yeah, they just miss it from everywhere. Really simple shots that no one would ever miss in real life at all. Like, and if they do miss, it's like once every 5 years. So you know, that's a bit unrealistic as well, and I don't really like it. Next is the inability to simulate until you are back on the field in a player career mode. So if you're doing a listed player career mode, or if you're starting off a new player career mode, and you cannot simulate until you get back onto the field in AFL Evolution, like you can in 2K, like when you get put on the bench, you just press X and it takes you back into the game, and it simulates until you are put back on to the court. You can't do that. You can't simulate until you're back on the field. You either have to simulate the whole entire rest of the game, and then you'll miss out on 3/4 worth of action, or you have to watch the AI for 10 minutes before you get put back on, which is really annoying. I think that they definitely need to fix that and have a way that you can simulate until you are back on the field. The last con is that the career mode is a bit lackluster. We were all expecting something absolutely insane. I wasn't really expecting anything insane. I wasn't expecting cutscenes or anything. I was just expecting something a bit more. I guess the career modes are just a bit lackluster, especially the player career modes. And even the coach career mode, it is very similar to the competition mode. Moving on to the pros of this game, and the pros far outweigh the cons, so let's go to it. The gameplay altogether is just fantastic, very realistic, and it is much more challenging than previous AFL titles. It is just all up a much better game than any other AFL game we've ever gotten. Nostalgia may be speaking to you and saying 2007, 2004. I've played all the AFL games since 2003, and I believe that this one is easily the best, and it is also a lot more challenging than all the other titles as well. The menus, they look clean and organised. You can easily navigate through all of the menus, and yeah, they're just easy to look at, clean, and well organised as well. Next, the manual is good, and not many games have manuals anymore. AFL Evolution has a manual where it can tell you how to play the game, the different features of the game, and I reckon it is a nice addition, and they did it very well for classical gamers who may have played the PS2 titles, and they've gone out and bought the game for meme purposes. They can learn how to play the game. The inclusion of the AFLW, VFL, NAB Under 18 Championship, TAC Cup, international sides and bonus teams is fun, so you have a wider variety of teams to use, and you can also create your own team other than the just regular AFL teams, so that is good, so you can create some crazy matchups if you'd like. The quarter, half and 3/4 time screens are clean and give a lot of information, a lot of stats, and tell you who's been playing well, who hasn't been playing well, the winning goal kickers and all of that. And also the in-game things, the replay, the start of the game, all looks very Channel 7-esque, and I reckon it looks very good, sometimes even better than Channel 7. The Fan Hub is a nice addition, very similar to the Don Bradman Cricket Academy. I reckon it is just a good inclusion to upload players, classical players, all that, and have other people be able to download them and things like that. Free roam is a new addition, and I believe it's pretty cool if you're starting out, you want to learn how to take some set shots, or you just want to run around and have the G to yourself. I reckon it is a pretty cool addition. Competition mode, I very much like competition mode, as you can just jump in, no nonsense, and play a season of AFL. Reminds me of AFL Live 1, where you could just play a season. Many memories on that, and yeah, it just reminds me of that. The stadiums look amazing. You can look all throughout the stadiums. At the start of the game, when you enter, it will show you the stadium and a few cutscenes and all that, and they just look awesome. They look very good while you're playing the game, and they're very nice to look at while you enter the game, so the stadiums are definitely a plus to AFL Evolution. The next is the way the game looks and the graphics. People say the graphics look horrible, and screw you to anyone that says AFL Evolution's graphics sucks. Graphics suck. I reckon they are awesome. They look absolutely amazing in my opinion. Some of them are a bit off, but altogether when you're looking at the game, it just looks really good in the in-game cutscenes as well. The way the game feels is just a lot more free-flowing. That fits into the next one, which is way more open space in the game. Feels like a very realistic AFL experience, like you are actually out there. Some games, the weather definitely reflects upon the game, such as rain or it being windy, all of that, and you know, the game just feels like it would in real life. Tackling is definitely an upside to this game. I haven't heard many people talk about this since it's just basically a mainstay in every AFL game. But tackling, I believe, is really good in this game. It just feels right, and it all works. There's a lot of tackles as well, which makes the game competitive. And yeah, I'm a big fan of the tackling in this game. The kicking and the set shots especially are much improved. I love the set shots more than I have in any AFL game of all time. I reckon these are the best set shots that you can find in AFL Evolution. The set shots are just awesome, and as I said, you can just try them out in free roam, or you can head into a single match and mark the ball if you can have a set shot, and most of the time they go in for me. They are quite easy to master. The celebrations and the reactions of players are very cool as well. They're all realistic. After they kick a goal, they celebrate. After the game, they celebrate. They're in huddles, and you know, the look on their faces, everything just shows. Mini in-game cutscenes, as I said, huddles and the toss, and everything just looks so much better, and them going up and congratulating their teammates. I reckon it is all that is a very nice addition as well. Finally, how good the actual game is for the budget, and that we finally have a well-rounded AFL game. And it is a very enjoyable game. The gameplay is fantastic. Some of the modes, like career, are a bit lackluster, as I said, but the gameplay is the best AFL gameplay experience that I've ever witnessed in all of the AFL games. We finally have a well-rounded AFL game. So if you like gaming, if you like the AFL, I believe that you should go out and buy this. You can get it for a bunch of different prices from like Target, JB Hi-Fi, EB Games. All up, my opinion is AFL Evolution worth it. If you like games, if you like the AFL, and then it's definitely worth it for you. I think you should go out and give it a chance at least, or I think there's a few EB games that you can actually play the game at right now. Try and play the game beforehand if you're not 100% sure. But I bought it, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic, and I've seen only one person complain about the game as a whole and say that it's an absolute piece of shit. Otherwise, all I've heard are good words about the game and the way it has been made, other than just a few little nitpicks here and there from a bunch of different people. Have you got AFL Evolution? What do you think? Was it worth the money that you spent on it? And does this change your mind? Will you get AFL Evolution? Are you excited for it? Have you been enjoying the game? Do you think AFL Evolution is worth it? I definitely do. I'm McCain. Until next time, I'll see you later. Peace.